There we go. So welcome. I have with me today Ruben Neal from Texas, America, and I'm Paula Wicks, and I am in Auckland, New Zealand. Now, Ruben is going to be talking with us today about wellness space and the miracles that have been showing up that he has been experiencing. So welcome, Ruben. Super excited to be talking with you today.
Thank you very much, Paula. I'm super excited to be here.
It's always a joy when we get together. I absolutely adore your energy.
Thank you.
Okay, so you were talking about the miracles that have been showing up in your wellness space. So fill us in and tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so there was a real interesting definition of a miracle that someone had shared one time, and I was trying to look it up, but it was Hal Elrod. He had an interesting, definition of miracle, but what people feel is outside the realm of possibility for themselves. And so, talking about like miracles, like how they show up is for me, when, people have been seeing licensed practitioners and specialists for ongoing amounts of time, even years, not getting a result that they really want. And then they come see me for like one session and then bam, like they have something that totally shifts their perspective and awareness of what's possible with the human body and the mind and all that stuff has for them. So different things. I brought in technology to El Paso, which I've been using to help facilitate some of that miracle kind of stuff. People, the range of people that I've helped with like serious things like with Bell palsy, the face being paralyzed on one side, and then just helping them with like 15 or 20 minutes with some technology and just really softening the face, getting some of that movement back in their face. Other kind of like neurological issues is women that have had damage to their spine from the the shot when you're getting
Epidural.
the epidural, right?
Yeah.
So 2 of them in the same week came with issues with that, and I tried out my machine on them, and they had issues with that for like years, and then bam, all of a sudden they were able to have a lot more freedom, circulation, less pain. So yeah, those were some real awesome things that happen on the physical side, but also like I've had many times the Holy Spirit get involved and have conversations with people in the room. I'm here at the healing clinic anyways, so but like these rooms that I have where people have body work, energy work. Yeah, the Holy Spirit will like show up. Would you like to hear like one story in specific? Okay. So one day, a woman comes in and she gets a session for her mother, a 60-minute session with me. And the mother comes in, and right away, I hear this woman has a testimony of the Christ, exactly like that. Those were the exact words I heard. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then I introduce myself, and then I hear it again. This woman, exactly like that. This woman has a testimony of the Christ. And then I just thought it was a little bizarre that I heard the exact same thing like twice. And then I heard it like 6 or 7 more times. It like kept going and going. And I had to like excuse myself for a little bit to kind of like, it was kind of like overwhelming. And I could like, also the overwhelming part was knowing that I could feel like the Holy Spirit wanting me to say that to her. he wanted me to have a conversation. I was like, no, I don't want to have a conversation. It was just like something, it was a new experience. And I didn't know how she would take that, because I knew exactly, like, he wanted me to say those exact same words. And so anyways, during the session, I told her, this may sound weird, but upon meeting you, I heard these words, that this woman has a testimony of the Christ. And she got real quiet, and she said, yeah. And there was so many interesting things that happened within that conversation. But one of the things was, okay, this woman, her husband had just committed suicide like a year before me meeting her, maybe not even that long ago. So it was like pretty fresh. And they were like, I think he was the pastor even in the congregation.
Wow.
Okay. Super tight in the local community. And she was telling me, she felt just like the congregation turned on her and she had to like leave. And she was asking God for like weeks before I met her. She was like, I wonder if people still see the presence in me when I walk in, if they still see the glory of you, Yeshua. When I walk, do people like still see that, with all that chaos and drama that, went on with her in that situation? And so yeah, it was a really good session, and she got confirmation that yes, like, people do still see that. You don't need to like say anything or do anything. That presence goes before you. So
And that's
I would throw that into the, the miracle kinds of things that happen when working with people.
Oh, definitely. And such an empowering testimony and an empowering word, especially with what's happening now globally, with so many death and chaos and destruction and discord taking part. But the thing that I like is she had come in to your wellness center, somebody unknown, unfamiliar. You didn't know each other. So she didn't know that she was coming in to meet you. Holy Spirit was speaking through you, but also she came in for a body work and an energy session. And then Holy Spirit, this miracle conversation took place. So I imagine that this released blocks that were in her field or in her body.
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of the things I noticed, like, she was like her body was super hard and curved. Okay. Like, she was like holding on to stuff I already knew. And, one of the things was I was the only man there besides her husband to touch her. Okay. This was a big deal.
That was huge.
And yeah, it was so huge. And so just the ability to bring in that conversation and Holy Spirit softened that curvature in her body, and she was able to let go and actually have the healing. She allowed herself, to have the experience when Holy Spirit softened that whole thing. But yeah, and there were just so many, it gave me goosebumps working with her, that there were so many commonalities between me and her husband. It was weird. And the words that came out of my mouth, oh, my husband used to say the exact same thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was really good. I was so happy that I mustered up the courage to say something about it.
Yeah. And that's the aspect of working of miracles, and the tenderness, but also that divine setup of yourself being masculine, being a man who is going to facilitate the gentleness of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
It was beautiful.
This has happened a lot of different times, where I allow that space to be open to um, I don't know what the right word is, but to be honored that way and worked with that way.
It's beautiful. And before we connected, you talked about that showing up and allowing the miraculous to happen, even though it feels chaotic. So can you
Yes.
talk about that space a little?
Yeah. So even like the miracles that happen with the clients and customers that come in, a lot of that had to do with activating myself as the answer in the morning. So you've been through this process too of we have this identity, a lower self, the natural human self, um, and stepping into a phone booth like Clark Kent and coming out Superman. And so this was like one of the things that I was doing every morning was activating myself, whatever happens outside the realm of the environmental factors, that they mattered a whole lot less. And there was like a lot of like like drama going on, but this practice that I got really good at, which is identity based, having to do with how you see yourself and how you show up magnetically, to where, even if you have, or when you have the chaotic in your life, you can show up in a room and totally shift the energy and open up atmospheres for people to experience what they need to.
Mm. And I love that because you're so familiar, like miracles has literally become second nature to you, hasn't it?
Right. Yeah. So I've had a real peculiar interest for 12 years in spontaneous healings. Got my background in integrative functional health, brain and gut health performance. Did the Chinese medicine and the whole holistic approach, right? And then it just also led me to working with, you know, people like you that help unhook people from generational stuff, right? And getting real deep results fast for people. So yeah, it's been a long time that I've really had this interesting interest in spontaneous healings and being able to facilitate it consistently for people, right? So it's not just like a one-off, oh, I wonder how it happened. Like I literally know that it starts with, myself, how I choose my choices, how I choose to show up for other people, for myself, how I choose to show up for myself first. And then that goes outwards.
Yeah. And I love that because you're so familiar with the gifting. So this I would say you have the gift of miracles. You have the gift of healing, and it has become a modality that you're fluid in. So do you find that this is an explosion that is taking place? Because a lot of people would think it only happens inside a church setting or a spiritual awareness retreat, but you're actually seeing the spontaneity of it on the street, in your wellness clinic. Even if you're driving across country, you're having explosions happening, aren't you? They follow you.
Yeah, there's so many. I remember someone telling me one time that the more truth that you tell yourself, the faster you get into alignment of what you want, right? And then know the truth will set you free, right? So if the truth sets us free, it's lies that keep us bound and locked up. The lies, the stories that we tell ourselves sometimes are not even like really true. So yeah, just showing up in truth telling sets the foundation for other people to effortlessly and naturally walk that way, express themselves truthfully, authentically that way too. So, when I am my word and the things that come out of my mouth, like I know have truth behind it, because I'm not lying to myself. I make a consistent effort to show up and tell the truth. So yeah, I really, really see that with like other people, that it allows them that space to honor themselves that way too.
Because there's an integrity, there's a vulnerability as well as a humility as you're speaking. So and you were talking about showing up but being clear and clean, so that channel, that flow can move through you intuitively.
That's right.
Can you share a little bit more about that? Because just for the audience point of view, so it's not a formula as 1, 2, 3. You're actually talking about an integrated lifestyle.
Yeah. So like I have 2 things that I do during, like, one thing I like, 2 bookends, something I do in the morning, something that I do in the evening, and like whatever happens during the day, it doesn't really matter, because I'm taking care of the inputs. Forget the outputs, the things outside, right? You focus on the one signal that matters most, and all that outside noise just kind of like quiets out. But the one of the things, the journaling things that I do at night, is setting myself up for tomorrow. And I'll put like a couple things down, 2 or 3 things down that are most important to get done for tomorrow. So when I do them, the next day, I'm showing up and I'm telling myself the truth. And you keep doing that day in and day out, those little wins. And that builds up so much momentum and confidence within yourself, right? That you're being true to your word, because you've been doing it and you're documenting it. And so that confidence and momentum is so strong that you can literally point that in any arena of your life that you want and get a faster result without losing the things that matter most.
Oh, that is very good. I like that. And in your wellness practice, do you find a recurring theme of ailments that are coming in that are being healed?
Yeah, I would. That's a great question. Thanks for asking. A lot of tiredness. People coming in tired. Okay, there's the stress factor, but they're tired of being tired. And part of the miracle part, the miracles, raising the dead, bringing the dead cells back to life, regenerating and rejuvenating cellular function and DNA expression. So yeah, I would say the common thing, there's many things, but I just see a lot of people tired of the grind.
Yeah, definitely. And and there's been a real density the last few years as well, so people are tired.
Right.
Do you want to talk about that just energetically, like on the diet that you're finding people come in, so they're tired, they're weary?
Oh yeah, tired and weary. So like, what are you putting in your body? What are you eating? There's like, fruits are the highest electrical thing that you can put in your body. Fruits, berries, and melons. So I've been following Dr. Morse for like years, and he's helped thousands of people. He's been regenerating and rejuvenating cellular function for people with literal hair on fire kinds of problems. Okay, stage 4 cancers, diabetes. We're gonna have to amputate this. We're gonna have to take this out. Like, that's not necessarily the case. You can literally regenerate and rejuvenate, depending on where you're at, but for sure, we have these tools, and fruits, the highly electrical fruits.
Yeah. And I think I love that, the regeneration and rejuvenation, especially at a cellular memory and the DNA awakening and all of this, which brings the lightness and the energy, because when you're tired, you actually don't have enough energy to sustain yourself, to get through your day and flow into your dreams fulfilled and your desires met. So when you're rejuvenating that is living a walking miracle. So you're affecting change. And what you're talking about is sustainability. So it's not a one-off, go to the faith healer, receive your miracle. You're actually talking about a sustainable, rejuvenating lifestyle that for somebody walking out of a pain management system is a miracle.
Yeah, that's right. So they leave with new perspectives and awareness of how to maintain that, and to not allow it to be just like a one-off kind of thing, or only when they come to see me, or somebody who does that kind of work.
So what would you say to the person who has a mindset that this isn't something real, like in their life, and they want to be curious about it because they know they need it, but there's a mindset limitation about receiving because they think a miracle is literally something that you see in Africa with somebody who has a leg grown out, so it doesn't quite fit inside their box? What would you say to that person?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a results first type of person, and I love when people get to have a hands-on first experience with me. But I would probably say to that person, do you really want what you say you want? Because you can have it. I don't have time to work with non-believers. Do you want what you say you want?
Yeah. And that's good, because when you said don't have time to work with non-believers, that's not a religion or a dominant, denomination, because you were talking about telling yourself the truth and walking in your word, so that not wasting your time or energy with non-believers is their word doesn't align with what they say they want. So they're actually operating in unbelief. They're a non-believer. They don't want the result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a human nature thing. Human nature wants more of the same. Whatever you're currently feeding it, it wants more of that. So, but we have this ability to actually choose based on something that we want for ourselves and make that our new normal. So like a rubber band, you would take it and you would have these ups and downs in life and returning back to the new normal. So this identity thing is creating a new identity based out of necessity, and then raising that standard.
And I like that
Super simple.
Your identity is one who walks in truth, but you experience miracles daily, and you're facilitating wellness, and you're resurrecting in somebody's life where they didn't actually see possibility. You're bringing in a resurrection perspective.
Right, for sure. Expanding their perspective. Once it's been expanded, they can never go back to what it was before.
And do you get energized when this happens? Do you get a whoosh yourself?
Yeah, it does.
And what is that like for you when you feel that flow of life through yourself?
Things are more fun and easy. That identity that, I said that a while back. If it wasn't fun or easy, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a part of it. And then creating these identities, there was one that I developed where I chose to be fun and easy. And that was interesting because it was almost the beings of fun and easy came into play as well and partner with me and show up and show off like that, to where my reality really was fun and easy.
Yeah.
And is fun and easy.
is fun and easy. Yeah, the now is reality. I love it. So the other thing, because I'm just going to weave it and we just stitch it in, because I really feel that comes into seeing people who are tired. Because with that tired and weariness is that, you know, they think they have to work. There's no joy. They've lost the joy. They've lost the thread of play. They've lost the thread of ease and fun. So they've encountered you and you're coming from this place of, you know, easy, things are flowing, you're rejuvenating, you're experiencing miracles, you're raising their perspective, and they come out feeling lighter, like the whole frequency lifts. So tell me the next step for them. What happens?
It's a conscious, committed choice for them to choose whether they want to maintain that and expand, because there's always more growth to be had. You know, there's more technology, more words, more help, more resources, more leverage, more helpfulness, more usefulness, more meaningfulness to be had. So with them, it really is their own conscious, committed choice to being alive, or whatever they want, to being healthy. Health is wealth, right?
Health is wealth, definitely. And I love that. I saw one of your Facebook posts and you talked about that. You talked about you just showing up heals somebody, because that's just who you are.
Yeah. So like this happens, like doing the journaling thing, you know, knocking out for tomorrow, 3 things, you knock those out, you keep having like those wins. Those are like identities that you have within yourself, and you start to know, you start to trust yourself. And so the words come out of your mouth bring back the result.
Exactly. I love that. So you were talking about technologies. You're quite comfortable with different modalities and technologies. And what have you found recently that you're working with and playing with?
Yeah, cool. So I've always loved cold laser therapy, red light therapy. I was doing it before everybody's doing like these big red light therapy panels and things like that. And using bioenergetic feedback.
Right. So just open that up for a little bit for people who've never heard those 3 terms before. Just fill it in.
Red light therapy is super great for mitochondria function, the cells, the energy of the cells, the powerhouse. It turns that on. Red light therapy is great for like pain and stress management. People that have fibromyalgia or things like that, red light therapy is great for people with depression, sleep issues, helping with gut health. So, and then biofeedback technology, the energetic signature that we all have. There's different equipment that you can put that helps you resonate at certain signature frequencies to create health within the body and eliminate clusters and blockages within the channel. So you can open up, you can literally through some of this technology, frequency medicine, light and frequency becomes stroke proof.
Wow.
Yes, you can become stroke proof for super cheap. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've been using the technology that I brought in to help with the nerve damage and the Bell palsy, different joint issues and muscles and tendons. Like I have it here, and forgot what I was gonna say about that. Oh, like healing super cheap. Like I paid like $350 for it. When it first came in last year, the United States, the FDA had, allowed it finally in the US, although it had been in circulation in the world for like 10 years. So I found it, brought it in. People have been like regenerating organs, liver, helping themselves out with different skin issues, psoriasis, and you know, whatever. Frequency is huge. Frequency medicine.
And that's so empowering, because having that technology in your own homes and in your own wellness, you know, cabinet, so to speak, or in your tool belt for your own family is incredibly liberating. It brings a freedom.
Yeah, super helpful. Even, you know, when using it with Ian, with colds and things like that, being able to cut colds, like if a cold would last normal people like 5 days, you're done in like a day and a half.
Wow.
You know, the frequency medicine helps with the detoxification and the lymphatic system and getting all that out. The lymphatic is your sewer system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So opening that out, getting that all cleared out, getting the kidneys filtering and the adrenal glands, those three are super key with health. And yeah, there's technology, red light therapy, and also terahertz technology. I've been using that. That's the one specifically that I've been talking about, terahertz. And that's on the light spectrum of things between like UV light and radio waves. It falls into that spectrum of frequency. And I've really enjoyed using terahertz frequency. It's great.
Awesome. No, that's really good. So I interrupted you. So what else were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, terahertz frequency, like I have it here. I mean, it's almost like a blow dryer, and that's how they got it in under the radar. Was they said it was like a blow dryer. You know, you got to be careful with these people. But yeah, so it sounds like a blow dryer.
Oh, wow. And I mean, that's something portable. You could put that in a suitcase.
Yeah.
Travel.
So it's got the light and also the frequency, clear out the lymphatic. You can do beautification effects like super fast with the eyes, tightening the skin and things like that. So that's another thing why I like using it, because you got the healing effects with muscles and tendons and ligaments, but also the beautification effects where, you know, you're regenerating cellular function anyways. So it's going to have a physical effect.
And is that one that you were talking about that helps with the, where the, you know, like you've had a stroke or something and part of the face moves?
Yeah. So with the Bell palsy person, what he said when I used it, he said it felt like I removed all the sand out from his face.
Wow.
And so there was like some movement there, but I thought it was a really nice, beautiful analogy that he shared, a powerful one, right? Like he felt like there was sand in his face constantly, so irritating, right? And I used it on him for like 20 minutes, and it was super, super helpful and powerful.
Oh, beautiful. So you also, do you see this an extension of, you know, like the gifting that you would have originated with, of the laying on of hands and seeing the miracles and the signs and the truth, setting people free? And now you've got these modalities. Do you find that this has opened up a wider audience to you?
Yeah, I think so, because, you know, people understand that. They like, you know, angels coming into their life. They like working with those kinds of like energies and getting words of knowledge and laying on of hands and like things like sciatica going away with a word. But also you have like the medical community that can appreciate data-driven kind of things, you know, that I can share with them, and certain different vocabulary to use with them. But, you know, just working with doctors who are naturopaths. Yeah, so it does open up different avenues to like reach people on levels that they're at.
Awesome. No, that's phenomenal. So just as we begin to wind up, for our, you know, agreed time was about to close. Is there anything else that you want to say or add to or cover?
Okay, let me read this. Okay. This is
Yeah.
from my journal. You know how much I love journaling, and I just like flip to this page. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. I'm just going to read it word for word here. It says, the God that I believe in is a God of miracles, and it's repetition that makes it stronger. The repetition of reminding yourself of your identity, of who you are, and being fine with your choices. But you know, the miracles, the repetition of doing it and allowing it to be simple and fun, and you know, they're different experiences that you know, I love when they like blow my mind and energize me and excite me. But yeah, it's the showing up and being willing to be of value and of use to of people that way.
And I think also living enthused, you know, you're enthusiastic, you're passionate, you're bringing this beautiful wellness modality to the world, you're enjoying and celebrating miracles. I also know you do identity-based coaching. If somebody wants to contact you, how would they go about that?
Yeah, so the best way to do that, Facebook.com/overachieving.
Overachieving.
Yes. So overachieving, they'll come to a page that says Royal Massage and Healing Clinic.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, this is the first time that I've kind of like opened this up and allowed myself to be found and not be so flying under the radar about things. But yeah, /overachieving on Facebook. They can send me an email at backpocketprofit, PROFIT @gmail.com. And yeah, identity crisis coaching people at a crossroads in their life for a change. I love doing that.
And I have loved our connection and our time together, which has been rich. And thank you for, you know, off the grid media and saying yes and showing up and sharing this fantastic knowledge and being accessible to the masses and the audience. So thank you very much, Ruben. It's been a delight and a joy as always.
Thank you so much, Paula, for doing this.
You're welcome. Okay, talk more soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.